At some point, we move from proof to action. You don't need more evidence. What you need is a clear choice to connect. Let's talk about that today. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. Over the course of the last 40 years that we've had our business, and more so the 59 years of my life that I've been visible and valuable and in the media, I have had the wonderful privilege of working with brand new startup companies, multi-billionaires, Fortune 500 companies, stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people that you absolutely have heard of, and people that you, in some ways, will probably potentially never hear of. Doesn't mean that what they're doing isn't powerfully visible and impactful for the people that are in their community. Just simply means that you aren't in their community. I can say the name like a perfect example, Lisa Nichols. If you know who Lisa Nichols is, Lisa was in the book and the movie The Secret. She's been on Oprah twice. She's internationally known and in demand. And yet I can also say her name, and there will be a whole bunch of you, probably from my experience at least, probably about 80% of the people who I say that name to either won't know her or they'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, I know who you mean now. And then the other 20% are her raving fans. They're the people who are like, absolutely, I totally know who she is. Okay. You have certain people like, say, for example, if I say Oprah Winfrey, for the most part, everybody, at least everybody living in the United States, absolutely knows who Oprah is. But that percentage is waning a little bit too because she doesn't have a daily TV show anymore, and the list just goes on. Okay. But the point is that for the people who are in their community, they know them, they like them, and they trust them. I come on every day here because I want you to know who I am. I would like for you to like me, and I want to build that trust with you. I show you the proof, not so that I can brag about how, once again, Linda, her book just went back onto top 5 in 3 categories, or how Lataxion's book that, went out in, when was that? October. Yeah, I think it was October actually that his book launched. Might have even been late September. And the book has stayed steadily in the top 100, usually in the top 20, in at least one of the categories, if not multiples of them. Same would be true with Willie's book. And he's got a couple of them that are doing that, but especially Never Stop Winning 2.0, and it's running typically in the top 20 or better. The really fun one for me is the book that Willie and I did together, Magnetized Media, which when I looked at it yesterday, I haven't looked at it yet today, but when I looked at it yesterday, it was still number 11 in its category. And the cool part about it is that between him and I, we actually have 2 or 3 books in that one category that are in the top 20 or at least in the top 50. Hey, Incredible Miss, glad to have you here. Incredible Miss V, that is. Hi, glad you're here. At some point, proof does what it needs to do. And then we move into the place of choice. At some point, we clearly know what we need to do. Here's the thing. You knew before you put the book out that you were going to need to do something to market and sell the book. I've talked to you enough about how powerfully impactful can I follow you. It's kind of hard to follow somebody while I'm live, but I will try to remember to come back and follow you on YouTube after I'm done live. Does that sound good? And follow me back. I would love that. Absolutely. And I show you this information because I want you to see clearly. And I tell you exactly how reviews work, when they're legit, when they're human beings that are actually reading your book. Actually reading your book and actually going back and writing legitimate, this is what I discovered, what I feel, what I think about the book reviews on your book. Those verified purchasers on Amazon, they make such a difference. And absolutely, you want and you need them, and they're going to lead your visibility. Secondarily, we need to be thinking of our book. And for so long, and I've heard so many people, including myself, use the phrase that your book is just a really great, powerfully effective business card. The truth of the matter is, have a great day. Good to have you here with us. You know, your book really fits in the space of being the real landing page. Now, I'm not saying that you should do away with landing pages, and I'm not saying that we don't need checkout and sales pages and places where people can get some more information and then choose. Okay, we've got to send people to somewhere to be able to do something with us, okay? And whether you're talking about a point of sale system like just sending them simply to Amazon, or something more advanced like a sales page. Hey, Jennifer, glad to have you here with us. Those are effective when they're positioned in the right place. Those aren't really the place where people are going to be like, oh, I read this for 20 or 30 seconds and now I'm going to send you $5,000 or $10,000. Doesn't really happen that way. In fact, most of your higher end, higher ticket sales, you're going to have a conversation with that person before you close that deal. Very, very rarely. Okay. And this is even including, and you can get a ton of information these days on cars. And you could buy a car online through Carvana or CarMax or a lot of different places. But the truth of the matter is you really want to sit in the seat, make sure that it's comfortable for you, drive it around, make sure that I rented this car one time that had this weird brake that by the time I had gotten the 4 hours away that I was driving, it was really painful because it was like you had to bring your foot way up to reach the brake. Allie, glad to have you here. Allie, are you actually an AI or that's interesting. I like that. You want to experience it. You want to know what you're getting into. And then you sign on the bottom line. And that's just true. I know all the time. I live in a little town, where we have property that is extremely inexpensive. Massively so. Like the house that I bought here, it cost me less to own it free and clear than rent was going to cost me for another year in Southern California. Okay. And so, yeah, we do have people from places like Southern California. This was actually my uncle's house, so I actually had some insider and all that, blah, blah, blah. But, there are often people from outside of that will see, hey, this house is so inexpensive compared to all the houses around me. I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to buy it even just as a rental property or what have you. But for the most part, even in those situations, you still really want to, you're going to at least have somebody come and do an inspection. You can make something look really good in pictures, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it is in person. It's kind of why, though I do know there are some of those sites, you really don't just order a mail order bride or groom and just commit the whole rest of your life to somebody because you exchanged a few emails or they looked really great in their picture. You want to meet the person in person. You want to see that they actually look in person like they look like. Okay, and all of those things, they're proof. They don't make the sale. They just confirm what you know. And the information that I've given you over the last weeks and months, those are all just proof to tell you, absolutely, we know exactly what it takes for you to be visible and valuable. And that most definitely starts with having the book, putting the book on the bestseller. All of that's just the start point. That's like creating the quote unquote landing page. But then it's about making it visible. When you're talking a book, 95% of all books sold sell off of Amazon. So you need ongoing visibility on Amazon. so that people see and find and know the book and want the book and continue getting it. That's the way it is. And we do those kind of things. So we have in place exactly what you need to be seen, to be heard, and yes, to get paid, to help you know clearly who you are, be able to put that out clearly in print, and then share it with the world. And we've reached a place where I really am encouraging you today to make a decision. Now, before you do that, as I've said many times, those usually happen in conversations. So I'm inviting you to have a conversation with me. If you just DM Amplify Review, if you can't remember both of those, put in Amplify or put in Review, either one. DM Amplify Review, comment Amplify Review. And let's talk about how you can move from wherever you are to having clear, consistent connection with the people that you're meant to serve in this world, with the thing that you aren't just meant to say, but you know you need to say. Let's do that clearly. Let's do it together. Let's not wait any longer. Because once I've given you clarity, here's the truth in the world. Eventually, clarity asks for a decision. And I'm asking you today, let's decide together. Let's get together and see what's right for you and how, whether it's $100 or $100 million, how we can help you do the things that you need to do in this world to be seen and to be known, to be visible and valuable. I'm so grateful for you. I really am. I appreciate these moments that we get to spend together every day. We'll be together again tomorrow where we're going to talk about you were always this kind of author. I want to share that with you. I'm really looking forward to talking about how visibility isn't going to change you. It's just going to let the world know the you that you always were. Until then, I don't know where you are, but I know that there are a lot of places across the country right now that are as cold as it is here. It's a whole 1 degree right here where I live. I don't feel bundled up enough, even with the hoodie on and the heater cranked all the way up, plus the heat in the house on, all of that. I'm still cold. But I hope that inside, at least, you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. And then until we're together again next time, which again is tomorrow, you have a great week.